Iran issues new threats. American officials attempt to clear up conflicting reports. This is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go ahead and jump into this video immediately.
Let's now bring in our panel, CBN National Security Correspondent Caitlin Burke and Joe Trusman, Senior Research Analyst and Editor at Foundation for Defense of Democracy's Long War Journal. Welcome to the both of you. Caitlin, let's start with you. So President Trump said today's briefing would be, quote, both interesting and irrefutable.
This guy on the left looks very gentle, guys.
What did the Pentagon have to say?
Well, John, the briefing was heated. Secretary Hegseth really had one message, and that is that what the military did in Iran was historic, period.
Right.
The Trump administration is furious with the different narratives that the mainstream media has been running with, specifically surrounding that leaked DIA report, which Hegseth pointed out, that report, especially at the time that it was leaked, was preliminary.
Okay.
And even in the report, it said it was low confidence. That report is still going to be added to.
Not even just low confidence, it was also like a very early assessment.
As more intelligence comes in.
Very early.
And Hegseth accused the mainstream media of looking for a scandal and failing to report on a major win. This is what he had to say.
Mainly CNN.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard. It's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump.
Mainly the estrogen.
Because you want him not to be successful so bad.
Mainly it's in the estrogen.
You have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it.
Yeah, guys, when it comes down to like the leaked information aspect of it, guys, I'm someone who absolutely likes and loves the fact of having a full rounded picture of something, right? So absolutely nothing against the individuals who went and did this absolutely historic mission, nothing against it, right? But I definitely want to know all the information surrounding it. So if there is or was any type of doubt coming specifically from the Pentagon that everything was completely obliterated, in Trump's words, right? I definitely would like to know that type of information so I can come up with my own like specific opinion on something that I cannot physically see, if that makes any sense here, guys.
Of course, was Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth sparring with reporters at today's Pentagon briefing. Joe, the Trump administration continues to talk about how effective these strikes really were. However, reporting from the Financial Times today said that preliminary intelligence assessments provided to European governments indicate that Iran's highly enriched uranium stockpile remains largely intact following U.S. strikes on main nuclear sites.
Okay.
That, of course, is at odds with what the Trump administration is saying. So based on the reporting you're seeing and watching, what signs or details help us gauge whether this mission hit its mark?
Right. First of all, thank you for having me. I think what we're seeing now is, at least from these reports, is a partial picture of what's happening, of an assessment that's been done on these sites. But we got to understand these strikes only happened just a few days ago. So I imagine right now the United States, Israel, and perhaps other countries are continuing to gather intelligence, trying to build a full picture, understanding of the battle damage, a battle damage assessment, essentially.
Right.
And it's going to take some time, but I think at the end of the day, more than anything, this is very important. Have these strikes, all right? Have they compelled the Iranian regime to abandon their nuclear weapons? All right, this is very important here. Regardless of what they find under what happened with these strikes. So we got to see. Again, it's still early, just a few days in. We need more time here to fully assess the damage at these sites.
Interesting there that you note it's not about degradation, but compelling the Iranian regime to abandon its nuclear aspirations. Caitlin, shifting back, though, did the Pentagon share any details that might shed any new light on the U.S. strikes over the weekend?
I think some of the biggest news that came out of today's briefing actually came from the Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Dan Kane. He talked about just how long the U.S. has been preparing for this exact mission. There are
2 years,
two
isn't it?
scientists who, for more than 15 years, have been living and breathing the Fordo nuclear facility specifically since
15
construction
years.
began. And as they were researching what Iran was doing, they realized that to target a facility that's built into a mountain like this, they didn't have a weapon that could successfully do that. And
Hold on, guys. They've been running like military experiments, let's say, right? Or military games, let's say, right? Utilizing the B-2s, etc., the Tomahawks, I guess blanks of sorts, guys, right? But they've been attempting to do this for about 2 years, at least, right? That was recent information that was delivered a couple of days ago about how long they've actually been kind of actually sending planes places, not specifically to this region, but they've been practicing for this for about 2 years. But let's continue.
They worked with industry and they worked with other experts, and they actually developed what we know as the bunker bomb for this exact mission. And General Kane talks about it here.
Did it over and over again, tried different options, tried more after that. They accomplished hundreds of test shots and dropped many full-scale weapons against extremely realistic targets for a single purpose: kill this target at the time and place of our nation's choosing. And then, on a day in June of 2025, more than 15 years after they started their life's work, the phone rang and the President of the United States ordered the B-2 force that you've supported to go strike and kill this target.
And the pilots who flew this mission report that that is exactly what happened. Every bomb went where it was supposed to go. And that's part of the frustration that we're seeing from this administration. There was so much time and so much preparation put into the success of this mission, and that's not what's being reported.
No, just nothing but disrespect, obviously, because again, they just don't like Trump. We're specifically talking about the Democrat Party, the left, and CNN. Like, what are you truthfully expecting from them? It hurts their feelings.
Now, General Kane did close with a direct warning to our adversaries, and he said there are other DITRA scientists working and studying other targets, and they have been doing it for just as long.
A lot of great background information there, Caitlin. Thank you for being at that briefing today. Joe, I want to end with you in the minute or so that we have left. Iran's supreme leader threatened retaliation if there's another U.S. strike. I got to ask, does Iran have the capability or even the appetite to escalate this militarily right now?
They have the gall, but
So despite the damage caused by Israeli strikes against Iran's military infrastructure, it's still intact. All right, they can still fire ballistic missiles, drones. So if they want to, they can. I don't think they have the appetite to do that right now. They'd rather rebuild. And of course, there's the proxy forces, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and other groups that largely stayed out of this fight. So those haven't been activated. So it's possible. So there's still a lot that can happen here. The possibility is there. Hopefully we won't see it, and peace will remain.
Hopefully. All right, guys. I mean, I do think that they definitely have the overall appetite to do it. I hear what this guy's saying here. But, you know, rebuilding would definitely be smarter. But based off of how the Supreme Leader kind of runs things, I can't imagine them not at least saying that they're going to do something and just literally just truthfully not doing anything. That's just kind of how he does things. I mean, think about the most recent attack on our base in Doha specifically. Where he basically, he told the leaders of Qatar, hey, listen, this is going to be the day and time. Get ready. We're going to do something symbolically. The amount of times that our country basically has been hit, we're going to lob a couple of missiles that way, specifically, right? And the Patriot system or THAAD will just take them out. Don't worry. Nothing's going to happen. Everyone's going to be safe here. But obviously that base was already evacuated exclusively, right? Because, again, they knew it was coming. Why? Because the Supreme Leader said that, hey, listen, we're going to do it this day, this time, in this manner, this many times. This is absolutely crazy here. So yeah, I truthfully believe that he's going to say something, but do nothing. Truthfully, because the last thing he wants is a wrath of the United States military at his front door, bro. He could talk and talk and talk and rile up his people, guys, but it doesn't matter, bro. All right? But all right, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. In the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.